when I got started, I started raising money from accredited investors.
I know. That's nice to say, accredited investors, but how?
Yeah, I'm
Are you
about
buying
to
a
tell you.
list?
No.
Yeah, okay.
So I did it. When I first did it how all the sponsors are doing it now, meaning that we're going to go on Facebook groups, we're going to talk to other sponsorship team, and they're going to come with the money and blah, blah, blah. And I realized very quickly that was the number one way to raise $0.
Oh, okay.
That is going to get you. It's like everybody's in the same pool looking for the same thing, doing the same stuff, talking about how to buy a deal, how to do this. If you got to think about it from the LP's perspective. An LP doesn't want to buy a deal. They don't run a deal. They don't want to do any of that. Only thing they want to do is put money in, get money back. Right. So as a sponsor, you need to not focus on how to buy multifamily or none of that. Your content shouldn't be geared towards that. It needs to be geared towards educating your LP, meaning you got to think like the person who's putting the money in, meaning what is a K1? Why is a K1 important? What is a limited partner? How do they get paid in our deals? As a limited partner, do you have to do any work? Yes or no? No, you don't, because you just wire the money in. And, how can you reduce your taxes by investing in multifamily? The difference is, now, if I say how to buy deals with zero money down, am I going to track the LP or am I going to track the active sponsor?
Active sponsor.
And that's what everybody does. They go out and say that because that's what they know. But you need to think in your investor standpoint. So what kind of investor do you want to be in your deal? Do you want long-term investors, short-term, medium-term? Do you want opportunistic investors? Do you want, stabilized investors, fixed income investors? What kind of investor is that? You have your investor. Now you talk to that investor every single day. What is that investor's problem? Do they know about multifamily? Do they know about alternative assets? Do they know about self-directed IRAs? Do they know about, being able to wire that money, take it from a traditional IRA to put in the self-directed, to put it in the multifamily? Do they know that they can have that control? That's when you switch that, then you're talking to a different audience, and then you're attracting people to come into your fund. Well, our fund allows you to do this, this, and this, because, we have structured it this way. Clearview Eastern Fund is what we do. This is how we operate. This is what you'll get. So that's what you do. Next thing is, you said you want to hit the streets and you want to beat the pavement. And if you want to talk to people with money, you got to hang out with people with money hang out. They're not hanging out at bars. They're hanging out at the country club. Have you heard of Club Corp?
Club Corp?
Club Corp. Yeah. No. So it's I think it's called Invited now. But type in Club Corp first and then Invited Club second. So it's a country club membership that will allow you into the best buildings in town. So it's like they have the best buildings with the best views, and all business people hang out there. So, Delta executives or, the Chamber of Commerce executives, all those people go there to hang out. And it's a very swanky place, meaning that if you don't have a button down, if you're not business professional or business casual, you cannot enter. Of course. And that's where you want to be. They give you golf course memberships. I don't play golf. I don't even know how to play golf. I suck at it. But do you think I'm in the do you think I was in the golf, the country club at the golf course hanging out?
Of course. My son actually did learn how to play golf many moons ago. He likes to play golf.
Yeah. So, that would be how old is your son?
32.
Okay. Perfect. Bring your son.
But he's in DR. He's in DR. Okay. We're doing Airbnbs in DR.
Oh, that's a great strategy.
Yeah.
All right. So, but hang out at those clubs, and what you do is, once you start doing that, you start seeing the same people. People ask you who you are. What do you do? That there's no shortcut. So you have to talk to people. It's all a people game. People don't care about numbers. They don't care about none of that. They only care about you as a person, because the numbers is the numbers, but it doesn't make sense until you meet with a person. Like my first accredited investor I ever met with, I was all about the numbers, and I didn't build a relationship with them. So I'm like these numbers are going to be this, this, and this. And I want to be the biggest person in town. And he sat there and talked with me that meeting. But when I hit him up after that, crickets, he disappeared because I didn't build a relationship. And that showed me he didn't care about the numbers. He cared about the relationship. Because when I thought about it, his questions was, Why are you doing this? You know, who are you? Tell me a little bit about your story. Tell me a little about this. And I'm this, but the numbers say this, and that doesn't matter. You know, you about the numbers?
Go getters. Yeah, I'm all about that.
And the numbers though, it means zero. It means a lot, but it means nothing. People don't care about the numbers.
Yeah.
They care about the story and the way you make them feel. They want you to make them feel really good. And that is it. What's the story here? If they can identify with the story, the money unlocks. But it's the way life is. The numbers is the real thing. If you don't have good numbers, the deal is going to fall apart. And people do it all the time. They tell a good story with no numbers, and then the deal falls apart and it's trash. And people wonder why they lost money, because you fell for the story, not the numbers. But you as a person with the Clearview Eastern Fund, you have the numbers and you have the story. So the deal won't fall apart. Last thing is you can also raise from institutions. So institutions, only thing is they want to do bigger deals.
I know.
So how I did it is I reverse engineered it. You know, what type of deals do institutions want to do? And then start from there. What type of returns do they want to make? And then start from there. And then what type of experience track record do I need to have? And then once you have that, the money unlocks. They will bring 90% of the capital, and you will only have to bring 10% of the capital. And what most people think is that they as a person have to bring it. But if the Clearview Eastern Fund has already raised equity, your fund brings the 10%, and the institutional investors bring the 90%. And that makes 100% of the equity piece. We're not talking about the whole stack. We're talking about equity piece. So, you know, your equity piece, institutions will bring 90% of it, and you'll bring 10. Now, here's the downfall. Ask your question. I'll tell you the downfall in a minute.
I don't have a question.
Okay, so here's the downfall. Downfall is if you don't connect with enough institutional investors, then you put yourself at risk to not being able to pull the deal off. If you go with the wrong institution and they pull out, then you put yourself at risk again for not being able to execute on that deal. So the reason sponsors like to do retail investors is because they feel like they have more control. My suggestion is to treat institutional investors just like you treat retail investors. Mm-hmm. Have more than enough. There's no shortage of retail investors, and there's no shortage of institutional investors.
Mm-hmm. I know all about it.
Yeah, so that is it. And so
but how do you find those institutional investors? Are we back to you again, Roddrick?
No, I'll try to set people up where you don't even have to use me. If you never want to use me ever, I mean, you can. I'm telling you, you can. But I feel like deep down in my heart, most people teach you stuff only to do it to where you can't do it without them. I want to teach you you can do it with me, and if I die tomorrow, you can do it without me. Because, you know, but you won't be able to do it like me. You'll be able to do it like you. But I'm teaching you everything so that way you can just do it, you know? And that's it. If you want to use me, cool. If you don't, that's still cool. I'm going to get my money. You're going to get your money. We're going to be happy. And that's it.
Thank you.
Okay. We'll talk.
All right. Later.
All right. Bye.
Bye.